All right, welcome everyone. We're here with Relentless this week, and we're kicking things off with DeMarcus Jackson coming off of a loss against Joe Blade. He's going to be opening here against Damian Todd. Not doing so well in his showing. We're still, and by the again, we're joined. What the fuck was my English there? Sorry. We're again joined by Robert here on commentary, who can save me here.
I can try my best to save you. Still am blind, but still somehow can do commentary sometimes better than you. Demarcus Jackson was coming off of a somewhat strong showing against former world champion Joe Blade, where he did lose, but man, there were a
The
lot of
following
times when we
contest
thought it
is
was
scheduled
over
for
and he just kept
one
kicking out.
fall.
I mean, he's got
Making his
supernatural
way to the
powers.
ring from
Judging
Houston,
off of his entrance alone,
Texas,
he's got
weighing
supernatural
in
powers.
at
The spooky
218
little weirdo, as
pounds,
you
the X
famously said.
Factor, D.
Yes.
Marcus
Uh,
Jackson.
yeah.
Yeah, he's going up against Damian Todd tonight. Tell us who Damian Todd is, because honestly, I don't even really know.
Damian Todd is a former tag team champion with Max Blake, the Wolf and Dragon Assassins. He's done decent for himself as a singles competitor, but most importantly, he's a tag team wrestler first and foremost. And like I said, in tag team wrestling, he's a former tag champ. So he's got the credentials to be a star, but his tag partner, unfortunately, does not have the singles chops at the moment. I mean, he had a match with the current World Heavyweight Champion, Kenji Ure, and that didn't go too well for him. So we'll see how he fares against the newcomer, DeMarcus Jackson.
Yeah, Demarcus hoping to pick up his first win in VPW here tonight. Damian Todd, as we always say with everyone who is about to have a singles match that's normally in a tag team, it's a completely different environment, but Damian Todd has been someone that it looks like Jacob Wells has been watching and believes that he can actually do well as a singles competitor, so tonight will be his night to show what he's able to do.
Yeah, and I mean, what is it really much of a
And
challenge
his
though
opponent from
going
the
into this match?
land of
Like I
the
said,
rising sun,
he's
weighing in at
DeMarcus is coming straight off
205
of that loss
pounds.
with Joe Blade from Uprising. So is it how big of a challenge is it really going to be for Damian Todd here?
Well, if there's anything we learned from the Uprising show, you can never underestimate anyone, as three of the matches saw people getting the first ever wins in on Uprising, and I believe even in VPW in itself. You can never take him lightly, and he did show a lot of resilience against Joe Blade. So it's just we have to see if he's able to actually seal the deal this time around.
Yeah, and like just to point out the reasoning for DeMarcus being on both shows, it's because he is not currently signed. He's a free agent. He doesn't have to be on one show or the other yet. So eventually he's going to have to make that decision, or he's going to get chosen by one of the general managers, depending on which one wins and who they choose. But DeMarcus doesn't seem to be too concerned about Damian Todd here as we kick things off. The ref ringing the bell. Collar and elbow tie up in the middle. DeMarcus gets the upper hand with the wrist lock. Transitioning from a wrist lock is Damian getting a hammerlock over the head and tripping him. Damian's got some technical prowess to him as we see him again, this time with a hammerlock. Oh, hammerlock side slam. That's nice. Goes for the pin. One. Count of one only.
What a shocking loss that would have been if that was the end of the match. But Damian Todd here tonight. In tag team competition, you normally don't have to have as much resiliency as you would in a singles match as you are able to tag out to your opponent. But Damian Todd, he's kind of going to be here to show that even without his partner, he's still someone that people should be looking out for.
And he's showing that a lot with the strides of damage he's doing here. I guess that would be the word to use. He did a massive clothesline, but he just got tripped onto his nose, and he's bleeding. Now, here we see it again. I said it last time, and I'm going to say it again. what do you get from grabbing someone by their leg and punching their knee? It's a solid part of the body. And DeMarcus Jackson, on the other occasion, didn't do too well after targeting the knee, which was knee, like it had a pad on it, and it's a hard part of the body, and it seems to be exactly the same as it was last time. Because as soon as he did that move, things turned sour for him.
I think DeMarcus Jackson just heard what you said, what I said last time about how it seems to be a pointless thing in sense of desperation. Maybe he's trying to prove that it wasn't just desperation, that he had an idea behind it. Sadly, it doesn't look like he's proved that.
Yeah, as he hit that enziguri on Damian, but it's the moves that he does when he's standing that are a lot more impactful. When he goes to the ground, he doesn't seem to know what to do. I mean, it's a big case for a lot of people in wrestling and outside of wrestling. But wait a minute, he's going for a dive to the outside. Over the top rope with the tope suicida. And he is hyped up for it. Here I go again. Referee's telling them to get back in. Damian's back up from a kip up. Nice arm drag. What do you think Damian needs to do to win a match like this?
I think Damian just needs to stay focused.
The focus wasn't working there for him too much because he just missed a double foot stomp from the top rope. But he hits that side slam again.
We saw a lot on Uprising that a lot of people underestimated people, were kind of showboating a bit, and a lot of times seemed like they weren't as
taking things
aggressive
seriously.
and taking things seriously. They're being as focused as they should have been to try to win the match, and we saw how it turned out. For not only Intercontinental Champion Wade Pierce, also Women's Champion Lexi Moranes, and Fletcher Benson. As long as Damien Todd is able to keep his focus, he does have a shot of winning this match.
And DeMarcus Jackson went for a super kick there, and we saw how he hit the super kick on Uprising. If he can hit something like that at just the right moment, it could be detrimental for the match. But Damien now giving DeMarcus a taste of his own medicine with a suicide dive under the middle rope. And oh my, okay, interesting. He hit the suicide dive, but he did a headstand front flip and managed to get seated on the guardrail and then back onto his feet. So it was a very strange occurrence. Clearly threw him off his guard as DeMarcus Jackson is taking advantage of it.
Spooky weirdo.
Yeah. Kind of makes you wish you weren't blind, right?
Yes, very much so. So it's very hard to be commentary blind, but I still do as much as I can.
Yeah, you just have to have a feel for it. You have to have the match in Braille, right?
Yes.
Damian Todd with a Pele kick to the back of the head to Marcus Jackson. Lifts him back up for a double-handed grapple to the neck. Oh, but takes him over the top rope as DeMarcus goes charging at him. But we're on the outside again, and DeMarcus Jackson, I don't know how well he does on the outside, but from the looks of it, things have not gone extremely well for him on the inside. And as I say that, he gets the upper hand, of course.
Yes.
Big drop kick. Don't forget, everyone, that on Friday we have Last Stand 2020. And we have a packed card. What are some of the matches? I want you to tell me some of the matches so that you can actually have something to say.
So the having the match in Braille kind of got to me a little bit. Some of the matches we are having for Last Stand, you're gonna see the two GMs collide for the first time in a long time, as we will see GM Justice Stone from Uprising face GM Jacob Wells from the Relentless, and the winner gets to steal one roster member from the other GM show. And Jacob Wells has said that he intends
Suicide
on taking
solution
Joe
by
Daly.
Damien. Sorry to interrupt, but he just hit that suicide solution. Going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Damian Todd picking up the win. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that kind of just happened randomly there.
Oh no, we can get back to that throughout the entire night. But I think we need to talk about what DeMarcus is doing so far, being 0-2 in his DPW career.
I think he needs to drop some of the cinematics in his entrance and start focusing more, because the cinematics just seem to be taking up time and not doing much for him.
The amount of stamina it must take to make yourself levitate in the ring before the match.
Yeah, not just that, but also to go from flat down on your face to standing straight up. That also might be something to put into consideration here. But Damian Todd, you're a winner here tonight. Let's get on to our next match in just a moment.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Birmingham, England.
We're back.
Weighing in at
Byron X12 making his way to the ring.
Byron X.
Seems that our commentary partner here doesn't know what's going on. But Byron on the apron here, former world champ, gonna be challenging Kenji Ure at the pay-per-view on Friday in a 2 out of 3 falls Extreme Rules match for the world title in honor of Brandon Alexander, who got injured in both of his encounters with Kenji.
And his opponent from Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 244 pounds.
Now here comes the champ, Chase Owens. Chase Owens coming off of a decent match. And now he's facing, like I said earlier, a top tier. Well, I didn't say it earlier, but I implied it earlier when I say former anything. When it comes to a champion, I mean top tier talent, and Byron is exactly that. But he's coming. Oh, okay. Now you're back. Okay, you can go ahead and take
technical difficulties, but on the note of Byron X12, he's a former tag team champion, former cruiserweight champion, former world champion. This man has done almost everything that you can do in this company, and like you were talking about in his match against Kenji, looks to keep adding on to that resume.
Yeah, and definitely an interesting match type. He chose this match type. He challenged Kenji, but not directly, I should add, because he went to the board of directors, not to Kenji himself. And the board of directors agreed to doing the matchup, which is like I said, 2 out of 3 falls Extreme Rules match. But the collar and elbow tie up at the start, Chase Owens getting the upper hand, but getting caught with a hammerlock around the back by Byron. Sorry.
Byron is probably one of the few people on the Relentless roster that would have enough pull to be able to go up to the VPW companies themselves and be able to get this match, just based on everything he's been able to do thus far in his career.
Yeah, you already touched on it with the former cruiserweight title, former, tag champ, world champ. But let's also not forget he's a former Money in the Bank holder too. So he's done all but one thing, and that's win a mid-card singles title. That depends on if you count the cruiserweight title as a mid-card title or not. But he's done almost everything.
Yes.
So there's got to be a point where you ask when you stop.
For Byron, it doesn't look like he even knows when he wants to stop because he's still here. I think he's not going to stop until people consider him one of the best, not even just world champions, but one of the best competitors that BPW has seen, if not the best.
I mean, he calls himself the cruiser great. Maybe he just wants to be a little bit more than just a cruiser great. He could just be great.
A great. Yes, exactly. That's close.
Getting Fitz over here on commentary.
Sorry. Sometimes you just gotta love life and it happens to you. But as much as we've talked about Byron,
Chase. Let's talk about Chase.
Chase, current openweight champion.
Yeah, current openweight champion. Beat Ace Reeves at the pay-per-view for it. He's had a storied history here in BPW. I mean, he started off by getting signed from the X Cup, as well as Adrian Black, as Byron hits that shooting star press. But no, he got signed with Adrian Black under the X Cup. Oh, there's a Kamigoy from Byron. I keep getting interrupted by some impactful moves, but either way, gets signed and immediately goes on he was winning a lot of matches, but he couldn't win the big ones. He had TV title match after TV title match, and then he ended up getting he earned an openweight championship match, and that's where it finally happened for him.
Yeah, him and the man that he was signed with are both now current champions, showing that, the sometimes knows what they're doing, so maybe they knew what they were doing, giving Byron his world title, or his title match against Kendrick.
Byron just did a capture suplex to Chase, who immediately kips back up, and then knees Byron in the face on the mat. Byron went for a super kick, Irish whip off the ropes. Chase, Sherman suplex, making Byron do a complete backflip. Yeah, and the thing about the X Cup, like the people that were signed with it, there were 3 people signed there, and only 2 of them are still here. And that goes to show that if you stick around and actually apply your craft the way that only you can do, you'll get somewhere eventually. Adrian Black, for example, won the TV title, and look where he's at. He's the world champ now. Chase Owens struggled to get wins on the mid-card for the longest time. He's openweight champ. Uranagi by Chase Owens. Now going for, I believe, a power bomb. From the kneeling position, he hits it. Goes for a boot. Capture suplex again. Sets him in the corner, but gets a boot to the face. Reverses the running grapple into a flatliner. Referee taken down by that Irish whip.
Oh man, no one's safe with Mr. Relentless.
Yeah. We see Chase Owens from the top rope, doing what DeMarcus Jackson did to Joe Blade, which is that top rope avalanche Spanish fly. It's a very effective move.
What do you think of the offense that you could see on these shows?
Well, ironic you say that to the blind commentator. It's amazing how often that people seem to have a lot of big moves in their arsenal. No matter who you are, everyone has something that you don't expect them to be able to do, and when they hit it, every single time it's impactful.
Speaking of impactful, Ireland's call, I think is what that's called. 1, 2. Byron able to kick out at the 2.
If there's one thing we know about Byron, it is that he does have the resiliency that a champion
Chase
needs.
Owens! Oh! He went for the punt kick. Byron got out of the way at the nick of time. TKO by Chase Owens, though. He was going to kick his head off.
He was going to try to take his spot at the pay-per-view if he would have been able to do that. I don't think Byron would have been able to make it.
You know how... Oh, that was a nice combination. He did a bunch of strikes there. Hit the roundhouse to the chest and then followed up with a corkscrew moonsault. That was a nice segue into that move. Chase Owens has every bit of the ability to get to where he needs to be, but it's just guys like Byron who can hit so much quicker, and as of right now, he's getting set up for probably that V trigger. Yes, he hits it. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Byron picking up the win here.
And Byron getting all the momentum that he possibly can going into last stand to try to win the world title from Kenji and give Kenji his first actual loss in BPW.
Yeah, Kenji beat Chase Owens in his first match, I believe it was. So Byron just beat another guy that Kenji could beat. So what does that say about the power or the ability of Byron? He could go into Friday night and actually beat Kenji.
I don't think anyone can doubt how good of a competitor Byron is. It's just going to come down to which man can outlast who in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Because Kenji's never been pinned or submitted, and Byron's going to have to do that twice to beat him on Friday.
Yep, and with that, we're going to get ready for our next matchup as Byron celebrates his victory.
And here we are for the 3rd match of this Relentless show, as we will have #YOLO taking on the Avenged. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these 3 teams?
I mean, the Avenged, they're in tag team action. They're undefeated in tag team action. No, I'm sorry. They're not undefeated. They're 2-1. The one loss that they have is against YOLO, I'm pretty sure. But Chris Everett here fought throwing Dakudo into the corner and then kneeing him. Now they're doing a double suplex. Everett, echo on your mic. Sorry to stop for a second there. Chris Everett is a former tag champ in his own right with his old partner. But now he's with Mark Edwards. And he looked to take over the tag division here.
Yeah, I'm sorry to correct you, but I'm pretty sure the only tag match the Avenged lost were when the one time they were booked on Uprising, as they lost to the Boys.
No, they beat the Boys.
But they beat the Boys. I thought it was Uprising was their only loss.
No, I'm pretty sure that the only time they lost was against YOLO.
Either way, they've lost one match. I have a positive win-loss record. They're here to face YOLO again, and hopefully win.
And to add to that, not only do they have a positive win-loss record for a tag team, Chris Everett has a singles win since he came back under the Avenged banner. And I've been seeing a lot of mumblings of the possibility of the Avenged recruiting someone, because there are, like we've already mentioned, about how the locker room have reacted to the whole Justice Stone, Jacob Wells as GM's thing. There are a lot of disgruntled employees, to say the least, on both shows. And Avenged here, they've been trying to recruit Ethan Walker from Uprising. I mean, Chris Everett, he has a storied history here in DPW.
Yeah, sorry. Chris Everett, as you're saying, is trying to recruit Ethan Walker. So far, Ethan hasn't seemed that interested, but that has not stopped the bench from still talking to him. Chris Everett himself, before being a part of the Avenged, had a few dominant matches in DPW, one of them being against former world champion and current Uprising GM Justice Stone, where he literally squashed the world champion quicker than I think anyone had ever seen.
Yeah, and then that match was immediately followed up by Elijah Riley cashing in a Money in the Bank briefcase to Justice Stone squashing him as quickly as anyone had ever seen.
Yeah, Justice Stone lived up to the motto of, unless it's a title match, I'm gonna lose, for a solid 3 months, I believe.
Yeah, he one of the longest title reigns of all, only surpassed by Joe Blade, as Chris Everett and Mark Edwards back suplex off the top rope to Bakudo, who I don't believe is tagged out once. I may be wrong. Well, no, he has tagged out. Sorry, but he's been in the ring a lot longer than his partner has. Mark Edwards gets the cover, but doesn't actually get much out of that, as he takes his time getting back up to his feet.
We have to think, whoever wins this match might try to have, I mean, some say getting
Referee knocked down
their own tag team title match against the winner of the Prestige versus Du Bois match at Last Stand.
Yeah, I mean, there you go. That's another match for Last Stand. Thanks for incorporating that. But that match came about because the Prestige helped Jacob Wells set up Justice Stone on his own show. Jacob Wells put Justice Stone through a table with a pile driver off the apron, and that might come into factor into the match at Last Stand. But I don't know, Justice Stone, there's something about him that's different going into this singles match. I mean, he's never been the guy to come out and attack someone before a match, and then he came to Relentless last week and attacked Jacob Wells. So there's something very different in him this time around.
Yeah, Justice Stone was not like before. Some might say that power jumper may have knocked a few screws loose in his head, because not only did he go to Relentless just to attack Jacob Wells, but he also did it with the help of what most people are saying is a very confusing call. He also attacked Jacob Wells with the help of Dan Masters, a man who he got traded to Uprising as he saw potential in him, and has now given him a Money in the Bank qualifying match on the next APW show before the pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I mean, also, Dan Masters, he had, I mean, I'm a little biased here because, you know, I prefer the boys in blue in this one.
Wrong call.
Wrong call, I know, but the boys on the blue show, I should say. Dan Masters had his chance to be a star on Relentless. He never made anything of himself on Relentless, and then he blames Jacob Wells for not doing anything. But he's the one who loses the matches. So I wonder if Dan Masters is going to try to use his relationship with Justice Stone to try to benefit himself on Uprising.
I mean, so far it has been working. He's gotten himself one match away
You are
got
right,
himself
that was a bad call.
He's got, I'm fumbling all over the words. He's gotten himself a Money in the Bank qualifier, and if somehow he wins that match, he'd be one match away from a guaranteed world title opportunity of his choosing. And if Dan can do that, then it not only proves that Justice Stone was right by drafting Dan, it shows that Dan learned how to finally take opportunities in his own hands.
Yeah, we have a lot of possibilities though for this Money in the Bank match. And if Dan is to win his match, and if even like Dustin Weaver wins his match tonight against Amber Reed, and Dan Masters wins his match to qualify, those two, they've had matches on Relentless before. So if they face off in the Money in the Bank, we might see sparks fly because those two, they already have history, and Dustin Weaver's not too fond of Dan Masters.
Yeah, that's one thing that'll happen with these kind of pay-per-views. No matter who's been traded where or what's happened in the past, it'll always come back to get you, as there's no escaping. I mean, everything that they've been through before.
Especially with, like you said, these kind of pay-per-views that are partially cross-branded. As we see Kakuto throwing Mark Edwards to the outside, he's gonna go for a tope canhila over the top. Oh, what the? Mark Edwards said, "Fuck your tope," stands right up and throws him back into the ring. The cross-branded pay-per-views, they open a lot of doors and make for a lot of opportunities to shine. And guys like Justin Weaver and Dan Masters, who normally don't have much going for them, they could prove themselves on a show like this. They can open the eyes of both GMs and get to wherever they need to be on the card.
Speaking of opening the eyes of the GM along with those matches, there is still one more cross-brand match, as we will see Ethan Walker face a member of Relentless, and the winner of that match will get a mid-card title match. Ethan Walker's been...
To help you with the person you were saying there, it's the loser of the Benny Banks Ace Reeves match. Because the winner gets that Money in the Bank qualifying match. The loser gets a title match for the mid-card title. So basically, it's a win-win situation, but someone just wins a little bit bigger than the other.
Yep, I thought that's what the match was, but I did not want to be wrong, so I just kept it that way.
Understandable.
It is a match. Ethan Walker backstage has very vocal about how
floating 450 by Kakuto. 1, 2. Edwards kicking out.
Edwards keeping the match alive. As I was saying, Ethan Walker very vocal about about the disdain he has for his current GM of Justice Stone, about the opportunities he's given Dan Masters, and now he feels like he hasn't been given one yet. And now he has his one chance to be able to be the change he wants to see on the show.
Oh, Mark Edwards went for a double axe handle and got a boot to the face, and he went for a clothesline and got the same boot to the face. Double super kick. Oh, wait a minute. Mark Edwards diving out of the way and catching him off guard to put him in that arm bar there. And there's the head scissors takedown. Mark Edwards doesn't care. Irish whip off the ropes. Duck under the clothesline, which will strike to the head, but block, boot to the gut. Running off the ropes. 619. Yolo has a big opportunity to win this match. As Reyesai, Canadian Destroyer. I think he's going to go up to the top rope for, I think he does the Phoenix Splash. No, shooting star press, but the knees are up. Mark Edwards has that move scouted because he occasionally pulls that move out of his repertoire.
Mark Edwards will take as many boots to the face as it needs for his team to win. Being able to see that yeah, I'm fumbling all over my words again. He was able to see that color and was able to reverse it, keeping this match alive even longer for the event.
Oh, big diving headbutt from Mark Edwards from the middle rope. I really wasn't expecting that. He tossed him halfway across the ring. One. And he kind of won. Like I said, sits up, starts to walk over to him, lifts his fist up like he's really mad or something, but it didn't really do much to help him. Off the ropes, Hurricanrana, Mark Edwards down again. Now it looks like he's going to go tag out to Caputo. I'm confused at what's going on in the match currently. That's why I'm not talking. Caputo was just standing there, and then he bolted for a pin. Mark Edwards catches the leg. Dragon 2 leg whip. I mean, guys like Chris Everett and Mark Edwards, they're big guys against the YOLO, which are, they're twin brothers, and they're very small. So, how does that affect the game plan for YOLO?
Well, YOLO definitely realized in most matches that they're definitely going to be outpowered and undersized for whatever opponents they have. So we probably normally have a game plan for facing bigger opponents, the people the size of the advantage, especially Chris Everett. It's always going to be hard to knock them down and keep them down, but they have to be able to use their speed.
Yeah, and the speed up until just right now, just now, was when the speed stopped being an advantage for them. But the pin is broken up as Mark Edwards, a little bit frustrated by it, stands back up, lifting Caputo over his head and side slams him. I mean, what is there left? Oh, wait a minute. Edwards, 7th heaven pile driver. Cover, hooks the leg. 1, 2, pin broken up again. Chris Everett didn't even come in to help. Is that cockiness, or does he just not care?
I feel like Chris Everett has faith in his tag team partner, and it's just
look at that. Everett with a big standing drop kick. A big guy like that doing something like that is a bit scary, to say the least.
Yeah, just because he has that size to him doesn't mean that he does not have more athleticism than you believe he should.
Yeah, Caputo was holding him by the straps of his singlet to try to pull him over to the corner. Now Everett going for the Everett exit. The outsider's edge it's called the Everett exit, but it's the outsider's edge. Hits it in the corner, damn near hanging him up on the top rope in the process. Covers. 1, 2, 3. The Avenge picking up the win. The pin should have been broken up, theoretically. And, I mean, literally should have been broken up. The ref just ignored that he landed on his boot when he did the double axe handle. But the Avenge still win.
And the Avenge moved it up to 3-1 and possibly making their own claim to be the next in line for a tag team title match.
Yeah, they've beaten everyone except for the Prestige here. And I don't think they've had a match against Bulletproof, but who knows, maybe they could.
Maybe they could, and keep showing why that they're genuine contenders in this tag team division.
The replays just show how effective the Avenged are, except for the one where Chris Everett is just kicking out of a move. But as the Avenged celebrate their victory, we are going to await the next matchup.
And here we are for the 4th match in this Relentless card, as we are going to see Ace Reeves take on Benny Banks. Winner of this match is actually going to be added to the Money in the Bank qualifying, or Money in the Bank match at Last Stand, while the loser gets to face off against Ethan Walker in, a match. If they win, then they get a mid-card title match. Up first, we're having Benny Banks. Why don't you tell us a little bit about him?
Benny Banks, obviously, this is match 3 of the best of 7 series. So currently, he's on a two-match losing streak with Ace. He just lost against Amber before then, so he's not looking too good as of late. Tonight is an opportunity for him to go from, losing every single week to, possibly winning a world title. So the world is his oyster, if you will. He just needs to take it. And he's got what it takes to be a champion, but he hasn't been proving it lately. So maybe tonight we'll see a different side of Benny Banks against Ace Reeves.
Hopefully that we will, so he could be able to punch his ticket into the Money in the Bank match. Ace Reeves lately has, especially being up 2-0 against Benny, has been very cocky. And I quote from Ace Reeves on Twitter, is him saying, "I get to beat Benny again and qualify for the Money in the Bank." And Ace Reeves is being very cocky with this. I think Benny needs to stay focused. What are your thoughts on this?
Benny definitely does need to stay focused, because the reasoning for him losing all the time is that as soon as he starts to get a little bit on his side, or he starts to being, heavy on the offensive, he gets cocky, he loses focus, especially against Ace Reeves. That first night that he had a match with him, he lost from a surprise roll-up, I think, right? Yeah, surprise sunset flip roll-up. The next time, it was a complete shock to me the way he lost. And now tonight, he's got a match against him again. And if he doesn't stay focused, he's going to lose again. And especially with the stakes being so high in this match for both men, no matter what, if you win or lose this match, the stakes are high. But it's you gotta admit at some point that the stakes are a little bit higher for the person winning. Because if you win this match, you get a Money in the Bank shot, which is a guaranteed world title match.
Yes, Benny not only losing to Ace Reeves, but with that roll-up, losing some of his confidence along with him, which I think is what's been helping Ace Reeves so far in these two matches. If Benny loses again when he goes on to face Ethan, that's going to be him in a 4-match losing streak. And I don't think that's, with the amount of confidence and all the losses, I don't think his head's going to be able to get fully there for that. If he's able to
I'm not
pull off
thinking
the
he's
win
getting anywhere
tonight,
in this match so far either.
if he's able to somehow pull off the win tonight, I think he needs to take on Ace Reeves' motto of any means necessary. As Ace definitely showed him in the first match. If Benny's able to stay focused, then he has the potential to be the next world champion on Relentless.
I mean, yeah, he's showed tremendous amount of potential as Cruiserweight champion and Intercontinental champion. Or he was a 2-time Intercontinental champion. So he's got plenty of potential. It's just the fact that, wait a minute, he's going on the apron with Ace, back suplex on the apron.
It's the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah, except for the post. But yeah, the fact that the potential has gone to waste so often with Benny. He had the debut episode of Relentless, he had a world title match with Brandon Alexander. And he was so close to winning, but he kept going to the well, trying to get that moonsault instead of going for, the worst fucking, what is it called? The worst law? He could have gone for the worst law. No, he had to go for the worst moonsault ever. And that is a big problem with him, is he's trying to win with something really flashy when he should be going for something really effective. As Ace Reeves covers him, hook in the leg, 1 count only.
Benny really does not want to get put away this early. Benny just needs to find that confidence that he had before, back when he was an Intercontinental champion, back when he was the Cruiserweight champion. And like you said, needs to quit being flashy and just do what he can to get the job done. Pretty or not.
Yeah, and from the look of his attire here, he's going with a little bit less flashy. He's wearing black kick pads now. Last we saw him, I think he had black kick pads before, but he was more focused on his look rather than, how he actually did in the ring, because he was more focused on how he looked. you know, style-wise, moveset-wise, as he does a moonsault there. A good example of how he should have gone for something more effective. A moonsault is effective, but it's more style points than, you know, damage points.
More style and a lot more stamina wasted on Benny's part for, frankly, a move that he could do a lot more powerful of a move for a lot with less energy than he had to use to do that.
Exactly, and now he goes for a roundhouse kick, which would have been effective had Ace not ducked out of the way and sent him into the corner. But Benny reverses the corner grapple, chop to the chest, and Ace responds with another and a double stomp to the chest. Benny rolls up to his feet, kick to the leg. Schoolboy, oh, he tried to get a quick one on Ace Reeves there.
Exactly what I was talking about.
Ace went for a Hurricanrana and got caught with the alley-oop facebuster on the rope. Benny has the upper hand for the moment.
Benny's using Ace Reeves' own strategy any means necessary against him, and when he did that, he caught Ace off guard and was able to use such a violent maneuver to give himself the edge so far in this matchup.
And Benny used that time where he had a little bit of momentum on his side to do another moonsault from a standing position. And you, again, have to question the thought process he's got to have to do something like that for a second time, when the first time it wasn't as effective either. As Ace springboard diving fist drop off the top, drop kicking Benny after that, duck under, off the ropes, and a big double stomp to the chest. Go for the pin. Referee 1, 2, kick out of 2 from Banks.
Benny's definitely putting up more of a fight in this match than we did see in the first 2 showings. Sad to say that we're barely into this match, and this might be already longer than the first 2 matches combined, with how Benny was put away and the shock wore up from...
Oh, Benny just blew a kiss to Ace Reeves as Ace tried to retreat to the outside. European uppercut to the back of the head, and he's taunting. This is the cockiness in Benny Banks that needs to be pushed out of himself. We might see a repeat. Sunset flip over the top. Ace Reeves rolls him up. 1, 2. Benny able to kick out at 2.
I think Benny was a bit more ready for it this time. That cockiness of Benny, it might not just be him being cocky, it's him finding the confidence that he had. Because this is the same stuff he would do as a champion before. He might be trying to find his old self.
Yeah, but your old self shouldn't come at the expense of the match. I mean, he got a really big move off on Ace, and Ace rolled to the outside. He could have done anything there, but he decided to blow a kiss to Ace Reeves in his face to taunt him. Why would you waste the time that you could have used to do something effective to taunt someone?
Well, a lot of people make mistakes when they are angry.
Speaking of mistakes, Benny went for a drop kick but got caught before he can get the full extent of the legs. Now set in the corner by Ace Reeves. Ace Reeves, we've seen him do this before. Jumps to the top. Tornado DDT, diving from the top rope, going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. Ace Reeves with a tornado DDT from the top rope, picking up the win. For number 3, Ace Reeves is going to be in that Money in the Bank match, and Benny Banks owes the loss to himself, basically. I guess that... Why would you waste time taunting the guy when you're barely even doing much to him?
And he was just trying to find his own confidence again, and he may have found some of it, but what he did not find was a chance to win this match, as he's now down 0-3 to Ace.
Yep, and Ace only has to win one more match against Benny Banks to finish this best of 7. Benny Banks really needs to win.
Ace could not only be Mr. Money in the Bank, that he can also sweep Benny within the same week.
Yeah, and now
Imagine the
we're
amount
gonna.
of momentum he would have.
Yeah, and now with that momentum, he's gonna go on to the pay-per-view on Friday. We'll see in the next matchup. All right, here we go. Main event time. As our announcer does his thing.
It is for the World Television Championship.
This is Dustin Weaver's third match on Relentless. Maybe fourth. Might be wrong. But he's got a TV title opportunity here. And he's no stranger to the TV title picture. But not only that, this is also an opportunity for the Money in the Bank spot, the final Money in the Bank spot for Relentless.
Just think about some of the implications that we have here. If Amber wins this, not only will that be 3 successful defenses as the TV champion, but she could potentially have the Money in the Bank briefcase and then defend this belt 2 more times and get a world title match. Not only being the first woman to be the world champion, but still have the Money in the Bank in case she loses it.
Yeah, and not to mention, she could also cash in that world title. Like, she could cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase on the Uprising world champ if she wanted. So she's got plenty of opportunities. She could win the world title on Relentless and cash in on Uprising. She has a world of opportunities here.
Well, she has all those opportunities, and I think for Dustin Weaver, this is probably the biggest opportunity he's ever had on this show.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I don't think he's ever. I don't think he had a TV title match on Relentless. I think the TV title matches he had were on Uprising. But even with the TV title match being in play here, the fact that it's also a Money in the Bank qualifier, it extremely raises the stakes and I guess what would the word be that you would use for this?
I mean, it would have been stakes.
Introducing
So
the challenger from Worcester, Massachusetts.
we've seen from Amber with her TV title defenses that she is able to perform under this kind of pressure and under these kind of stakes. I don't know if we've seen the same from Dustin, and this could be a match that could genuinely surprise a lot of people either way with how this match turns out.
Yeah, Dustin, to piggyback here on like the whole TV title picture, he had a really good match like with Adrian Black when Adrian was the champ. Adrian's world champ now. So if he could put on a really good match here with Amber and win it, that would completely make up for the fact that he lost the TV title matches he had before.
Making himself the new champion, and again, not only a TV title champion, but one match away from a guaranteed world title opportunity.
Exactly, and that's what's the most important part of this match in general, is the fact that no matter what, you will be leaving with something. And with Amber, if she loses this, she's leaving with the fact that she was, just so short of having a world title match guaranteed to her in more than one way.
Ironic to say short while she's going against Dustin Weaver.
Yeah, Dustin Weaver is currently getting his ass kicked, to say it bluntly. Again with that reverse DDT by Amber. And a dragon suplex onto Dustin. I don't know what's up with Dustin, and as your mic echoes a little bit again, he usually kicks into like third gear, maybe fifth gear, like, whatever you want to say. Around the time that he starts getting a lot of damage done to him, he kicks it up a few gears, and then he gets into the motivation. He gets to that next level, and can really. Now he's gyrating his hips. I'm done talking about him.
Dustin Weaver is a man who likes to skateboard and have fun. I hope the have fun aspect does not ruin this match for him.
Oh, poison Rana by Amber after the bicycle knee.
Andrew does not seem to be taking this match lightly at all, and seems to just want to get it over with out of this way, having full confidence in her ability to beat Dustin.
Yeah, Dustin, on the other hand, he was just excited about the fact that he could be in an intergender match on VPW. He wanted to wrestle some women to, give them some shine and, give people a reason. Oh, that's just uncalled for. He slapped her in the face. He made a comment on Twitter that had to be addressed by not only the people up top in VPW, but apparently some local authorities too. They basically had to tell him not to inappropriately touch her, like he was jokingly saying, because he jokingly said he could touch the butt, and everyone took it serious. And well, he's not doing so well in that department on tonight, as Amber slingshotting in from the apron for a neck breaker. I think she's taking out her aggression from the comments he made. But, right now, he's hitting the dragon screw.
Thinking about, as you were saying with Dustin Weaver, saying that he wanted to put some more of a spotlight on the women. In this scenario, I think Amber's putting more of a spotlight on Dustin with the amazing run that she's been having against male competitors.
I agree. I mean, she's beaten Benny Banks and Eli Drago, who recently just got drafted, and even Matt Bailey. So going up against Dustin Weaver isn't going to help her, it's going to help him. As she goes for cover, 1 count only.
Eli getting traded off of Relentless over to Uprising, and Matt Bailey being in the Money in the Bank match. So she has the potential to see Matt Bailey again in that match if she's able to win here tonight.
She's doing lucha things to get out of the grasp of Dustin Weaver. As she hits that running knee that she's won matches with before. Cover 1, 2, kick out of 2 from Dustin. Dustin just wants to be a skater boy. It's not going to work out too well.
He wants to have fun, but Dustin needs to learn that there's a time and a place to just try to have fun, and there's a time to get serious.
2,
tonight is one of those
3. Amber Reed taking the win.
There's
Wasn't serious enough.
No, Dustin did not take this match as seriously as he should. Amber Reed is now 3 title defenses with the TV title, and is now the last participant for the Money in the Bank match at Last Stand.
Not the last. We still have one more qualifier for
yeah,
Uprising.
The last for Relentless is what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Dustin Weaver did not take her serious whatsoever in this matchup, and it really shows. But with all being said, Amber Reed still put up one hell of a fight, and definitely didn't let the Dustin Weaver taunting. I mean, I say the Dustin Weaver because he was taunting. He was making jokes, and he was trying to throw her off her game by distracting her with stuff that he wasn't going to ever do. And
with this amazing run by Amber, he should have known better. That she would not take any of it.
Exactly, but we're going to sign off from Relentless tonight. We'll see you on Thursday for APW Live. Maybe Amber might have another defense, but we'll see you then.
Good night.